Alright, welcome back to a new video, and this is going to be episode 7 of today's new video, and based on off of last event, I believe we had ended up with the new area down here, with all the way down here. We've explored all of this, and all the way over here, and I think last video was talking about the rebellion of a peer of Germany, and we will not be seeing any progression of this country as of all of this lately, and this is when we'll begin to explore even more of Asia. Tune in for the rest of the video, please, and it's going to be a long one. Not as long as the last video, it shouldn't be. So we're going to have the new alliance, the Triple Star Alliance, which has multiple regions around the world. One over here, one over there, one right here, one right here, one right here, one right here, two down here, and then four right here. Which, this is the only stronghold they basically have. So there's going to be a new alliance member joining this alliance, and it will be this India country right here. And there's going to be more exploration into the Himalayas right here, as as it is getting really close to getting finished, and then they are basically done. They just need to get all the inner really high parts of the Himalayan mountains, which they'll actually get in a little bit further, but this is the height of it basically, and this is what they basically have left of the Himalayan mountains, and there's even more space for all these countries to claim, but we are going to have not a new country, we are going to have a war, and it's going to be between the French and no, actually, I take that back. It's going to be a war between the Prussians and the Norwegians, as the Norwegians were causing a lot of violence between these two countries, between the Prussians and the Germans, which they are in the same alliance. So there shouldn't be any violence, right? But based on how this is, the Finnish will not join. No other country will join, as the Finnish want to keep their sovereignty, and since they are new countries, yeah, this is not going to end well for the Norwegians, as they will basically get swiped, and they will immediately surrender, but they will lose territory, and it's going to be the northern region, which which the Germans were not intending for it to happen, as they were not the ones who funded this war, because actually the French are actually growing further distance away from these other countries that are causing a lot of harm to all the Western European countries. So France will end up seeing this, and they will I'm just gonna size up my brush. They will leave this alliance, which will actually leave a couple of other alliances to rest. For example, the Italian country. They are actually just going to join a new alliance all the way over here. But it was just that way they felt a little bit more safer, so they will completely switch over. The Finnish and the Prussians, as they don't have an actual border with them. And sadly, the Crimeans and the Greeks, they've been through everything, but they will leave, which will cause these countries down here to begin to leave, and these other countries will begin to leave as well, as the Bangladeshis will also leave. Which the Iranians, they're still against the Greeks, so they will stay in the alliance. And this is when we're going to have a switch up, when the Caucasian country will officially join the 6-point star alliance, which will end up looking like this. And this is when we will see this alliance basically get destroyed everywhere else, And this northern Chinese country will leave, which will quickly prompt the other countries surrounding it to leave as well. And we will have these two stay in this alliance, these two stay in the alliance, and Ethiopia stay in the alliance, but we will see the Yemenese country leave, and this red country will leave, the German country will leave, and actually the 3 Point Star Alliance will actually kick the Norwegian country out, as they were the ones that started the war against the Prussians. They were the ones that were causing harm, and so on. This Liechtenstein country will leave, and we will see another country join this 3 Point Star Alliance. It will be Germany, and Finland will quickly rejoin, as they only left to be not seen as hostile, which will quickly allow surprisingly, the French will join, and this is when we will have these two create these three, I mean four, as the Ethiopians will also join this, also leave this alliance thing, and this is when we will see them create their own alliance, which will quickly prompt them to do this. It's going to be the Rectangle Alliance. It's going to be between the Ethiopians, the Saudi Arabians, the Iranis, and this Kazakhstan country up here, which surprisingly, and also not surprisingly, the French will join it, because there's not much space up here. We're gonna have the alliance thing down here. Actually, we're gonna have a different country actually join this alliance. It's gonna be this seafoam green country right here. We're gonna have we're gonna highlight this triangle shape, and we're gonna move it down here, and then we're gonna move this up here. We're gonna move it right here. So we have a country with two alliances. It's been a while since we've had a country with those, and surprisingly, we will have the let me set up my brush. We will have the Italian team officially leave the 3 Point Star Alliance, and this Welsh country will also leave the 3 Point Star Alliance because they don't team the French or any other ally as worthy, and this is when they will quickly go back to the 6 Point Star Alliance. Oh, okay. I have no idea what I'm doing. Lasso. Okay, we're just gonna go to the lasso tool, and okay. Never mind anything. The Welsh is just not gonna be part of any alliance. It's just gonna be that. And this is when we're gonna have the Crimeans officially break out into a civil war. This is a very sad day for all those people that support the Crimean country. Is that too close? That's way too close. This is a very sad day, and we will have the official rebellion taking place in these areas up here. They will be taking place in those areas, and the areas all the way over here closely relating to the Greeks, and a little bit over here on the Prussian border, which will quickly gain a bunch of population as they are really close to the capital regions, and even when reaching all the way down here, though it is a very small scale rebellion. As now we will officially get the invading side of the rebellion quickly begin to try to link up through these other sides all the way over here, which will quickly connect, and they will continue to move through until they are stopped at around this point here and there. And this is when they begin to go across the blue country right here, and they will be very careful to not invade. And this purple team, the rebellion, plans on trying to unite the country again. Very weird to say unite, as they are the ones who are popping up. But oh well. The Crimean team will quickly begin to invade into the southern purple part of the rebellion, which will quickly begin to collapse heavily until they reach this border part, which now there's even more parts beginning to successfully rebel with the other parts of the team. It's going to be through over here and over here, where quickly begins to grow even into the more these parts of the major cities, which quickly begin to move most of their troops out, as they want to keep these areas right here and the newly rebelled part separated, as they don't want them to get too close. So these are where the official troops are, and they begin to move into this rebellion part right here, but they are unsuccessful in these areas right in these areas as they begin to move through and connect with each other. And this is when they begin to fully become almost one united front. And down here in this rebellion front, they will quickly begin to move through, as the Greeks were the only ones that were able to keep them stable, as they were the ones sending money. But after they left the alliance, this is what happened, and the rebellion begins to take a huge hit onto the Crimeans. And this is when they begin to roll their troops all the way through the southern part, and this is when the southern part of the rebellion fully falls. And they will continue to move through, and this is when they will reach full troops of the Purple Rebellion, as this is where most of the borders begin to take place, right around this region right here. As boom, and they begin to split off the Purple Team Rebellion and away from each other, which will work successfully. A major success for the Crimean team, and this is when they will fully block off the Crimeans or from the other rebellion, which they'll allow them to go successfully, which they will quickly join this Caucasian team, which seems a little weird, but this part of the rebellion team did rebel in favor for the Caucasian team. The other parts will not be in favor. And this is when the front line of the rebellion team begins to fully fall, as the Crimean team will join back in the alliance, which the rebellion were not counting on, as they have been the most social winners. But due to down here, the Greeks can't really send any troops through there, so they are sending their troops funneling through up here. They're sending troops through right there, and this is when we have the stalemate between the rebellion and the actual people who are fighting for the Crimean team. This is what they look like, but the rebellion continues to grow even bigger as they pop up again over here. And if we take off the alliance layer, they also pop in again right there, which again, they completely begin to link up again. Boom. And they begin to re-liberate their own people down right here. And This is when it will continue, the war effort will continue to grow, and this is when they will fully liberate themselves, and Greece will completely leave the war, as they will not see Crimea as a deficit to save. And this is when they will completely block them off through land, and they'll have to travel through the Crimean areas. This is when they begin to grow through this is when they will begin to see the capital within a few miles through right here. And this is when another rebellion begins to appear all the way over here, which makes you wonder how much did they mistreat their own civilians? And it was by a lot. Sadly, it was by a lot. This is when the entire invasion part up here will fully succumb to the rebellion, and this is the only part where the actual Crimean government is able to hold on to, other than probably like a few other stragglers. Probably only this major city and this one over here, which is barely hanging on. But other than that, this is when the Crimeans will finally succumb to the rebellion. And peace treaty time. Alright, I just came back from a peace treaty, and this is what I decided to come up with. We will see the green team becoming a regional power rather than a major power. So we will see, let's start off with the red team over here. We will see the red team gain this much land. It's the regions that wanted to join the red team. And we will see the Prussians gain this much land. And this is when we will see the Greeks even gain a little bit of land, as in compensation of joining this war, though it was a very little amount. And we will see the new country of the purple team become a country, and they'll even have a little bit of coastline all the way down right here. Take a little bit of land from Greece. They won't mind. And they'll also take a little bit of land right around here. And it's going to encompass this much land. And this is when we're going to have the Russian team right here. It looks too much like the Greeks. Oh. Oh my god, I'm trying not to create another Greece. There's no good orange. You know what? This will be good enough. This is the new orange team, and this is when we will see this Caucasian region get this much land. So this is the green team now. I guess we can call this country right here Romania, or actually, we can call this country right here the Moldovan team, as this is basically where Moldova resides in real life. So we will see the Moldovan team's capital be right there, and we will see the orange team's capital be right here. Actually, we will see their team's capital be right here, as that is the... Okay. This is my final answer. Their capital is going to be, like, right there. So, these are the new countries. We got a pretty sizable one in the Russian territory right here, which will actually be gaining a lot of land. And we got the purple team right here, which will be joining an alliance very quickly. They will be joining the French team right here. This is the country they're going to be joining. I forgot I'm on the wrong layer. They're going to be joining the French team right here. And so we got a new alliance member for the Tricepta Alliance, which only has 7 members. And then we will see another member for the Square Alliance, which luckily not going to be the only, Asian country over here that's going to be hating onto the Greeks, as they were the ones that were supporting the very ones that were going against them, which were breaking their own rights. So this is when we will have the Russian team begin to take up a bunch of land, and it's going to be one of the third, fourth countries to ever reach the Asian North Sea and the European North Sea, like in this general area over here, which will completely block the Prussian team, which they will actually not mind, as they needed a bunch of land as they encompass a bunch of land all the way over here, which is beginning to take a heavy toll on them. And this is when we'll begin to focus back onto the Greenland exploration travels. And we will see them explore all the way into the most inner part of Greenland, which will again begin to come into a heavy cost. And this is when we will see the Scottish, who will actually take most of this land, and they'll take a majority of these lands over here, which will cause many countries to get mad. For example, the French team and the Irish, and somehow even the Walish, because they actually will be taking some land, surprisingly. They will be taking a little bit right over here. They will be taking this much right here. And we will see the French team even take a little bit of these areas over here, which will mostly block off the Irish. The French will go ahead and take up this much territory, which the Welsh is going to instantly spread out most of their Greenland territories all the way up till this point, which is now sizable to the Irish claims right there. This is when we'll have the explorers begin to explore even more north, which continues to grow colder as they reach their limit all the way up here. And this is the first time they will be reaching the top of the world, other than like the. Wait, give me 1 second. Other than these islands over here, this is the top of the world for them. As they begin to reach all of these lands all the way up here, actually, we can go ahead and count this as all the way up into the sky. So they will actually discover all these lands up here, which will be around half of the North Ocean that they've fully discovered, which is very surprising, as they've also discovered around half of the Atlantic Ocean and around 90% of the Indian Ocean. As this is when they will begin to travel down to the Solomon Islands, as this is when they will be hearing the feats of the Greenland feats all the way into the European areas, which the let's be real, the Thais will go ahead and claim all of these lands, which this is when they begin to grow a little bit rebellious, as they grow very distant, but they're friends with the Vietnamese, which helps them out a bunch. As this is when they'll finally explore Australia. I have one of my friends who, for some reason, really loves it. I'm not hating on Australia. I also am quite fond of Australia, but my friend is like overwhelmingly fond over him. We will see them explore these much territories of the Australian coast, which instantly gets explored, like so, as they explore. They begin to explore a bunch all the way into the most of the coastal regions of Australia, and this is when they begin to see all the horrors into Australia. They'll begin to realize why this is called God's second hell. Yeah, they'll realize why they shouldn't have come over here, but sadly, the Thailandese will go ahead and claim a little bit of land all the way down here, but not into the hellish regions, as they've heard stories. As they go ahead and claim this much land, which instantly allows the Vietnamese also claim quite a bit of chunk of land all the way down here, right around this much territory. Boom, boom. And this is when we'll finally have another country reach all the way down here, And surprisingly, though they had to travel such a long way, the French will make, yes, the French, they will begin to make their way into the Indian Ocean the first time ever, and they'll take up this much coast, and they begin to send their navy all the way through the Suez Canal, all the way through, and they'll send it through the Red Sea. And this is when they will begin to reach the Indian Ocean, not as rough as the Mediterranean. They'll reach this island. They'll reach the Taiwanese, and this is when they reach all the way down to the Australian coast, as this was their plan all along. And yeah, they instantly take a bunch of land, which they will instantly begin to explore heavily into the inner Australians. They don't hear back from a lot of explorers, which continues to drive them in deeper into Australia. Which this is ends up where they begin to send all their prisoners at. Though they don't have much. Again, this is where all their prisoners end up at, like modern day Australia with the colonial empire, the British Empire. And this is when we'll finally have the French um, take even more land. Though they became their, I forgot to mention, their monarchy overthrew their, or their public overthrew their monarchy, which instantly became very destroyed over the years, but eventually became an expansionist empire, but a republic at the same time, which I still don't understand how that manages to work. And after exploring all this time, all the way down into Australia, this is when they will find Africa, all the way down over here. And they'll make an epic feast as they begin to go through the south tip of the African continent. And boom, they found, they basically have now, they've now fully explored all of Africa as they finally reach Madagascar, which instantly gets explored along with the Mauritius and Comoros Islands over here. And this is Madagascar explored, and we will have the French, like always, travel down through this area and instantly set their claim, which will become successful, a very large successful claim, as boom, they will set their African colony down there and through these islands over here, which they will set as they will set a colony over here to allow boats through here, and for trade and stock, that kind of thing, which the Indians will instantly find valuable. So they will take the northern half, if right around this much, and them taking even a little bit of islands right down here. And this is when we'll have the I gotta fix this. This is when we'll have the Italians make a obnoxiously large claim, that much, over Madagascar, and the Germans will continue their expansion, as now they will completely block off the other African countries from reaching over each other. Instead, they will completely encompass this African country, which will look like so, as will now look like this, as this is their African colony. And yeah, this is when they'll make a trade-off deal with the Germans with this Norwegian territory, and they paid a lot of money of it over to the Germans, and this is when we'll have the Germans officially being able to go through the North Ocean and all the way down to their colony, and even some over to the Indian Ocean, all the way down through here, all the way through all these other countries. Though they could have went through the Suez Canal, the Greeks are charging other countries for it. This is when we'll have another country be taken over by the Germans, and it will be Norwegia. Peacefully, though, as they will unite as one for the greater good of the Prussians, as Benelux was actually half Prussian on this side and the other half Benelux, which doesn't exist anymore. We will have this major city turn into a major city. I'm just kidding. They will turn into a regular settle city. They will turn into a major city right there, and this is what we'll have for Europe, as this is what they will completely look like now, and there's mostly going to be no other changes except for into the future Asian conflicts. Mind you, this is what we're going to start with after the next few episodes, as there will be major changes, and I will have a mini movie out for y'all coming out soon, so look out for that. And we're gonna go ahead and focus back onto Africa. This is when we'll have the Italian team make another aggressive claim all the way down into the modern day, into our world, modern day, the Madagascar, no, Mozambique territories, which will instantly look like this. Looks very Mozambique to me. And this is when we'll have this green Uganda territory country begin to take up a bunch of land as well, though they will leave a bunch of land for the Ethiopians, which they are. The Ethiopians themselves are basically an empire, as they will actually take a little bit of land from the southern Indians as a peace treaty, but this is the only land they'll get for a good while, as they are now completely encompassed. And this is when we'll see more expansion by this green African team, as they'll expand even more into Africa, as they are native to this region, so they know how this works. So they will actually take much of that land, and we'll move on to the French colony down here, which is very successful, as they have a bunch of trade going through, and we're going to continue to see the French claim even more territory to make their colony even more successful, as they will claim this much territory now, and that includes with their Western African claim, and they're going to be claiming this much territory from Africa, including they can now basically jump through from this area from France to the Spanish islands, to West Africa, into South Africa, Madagascar, Comoros Islands, and then all the way down to Australia, which is a very large empire. Just wait till you see the next episode, which I am hyping up, and I plan on making these shorters very short for y'all, but this is not going to be it, as we will see another major war happen between the Italians and the French. We're not going to see most of the Southern African front all the way down here. We're not going to see anything past here mostly, but it's going to start with the Italians actually declaring war first, as they see a threat of the French, which haven't made any threats to any other country in a while actually, which makes things very suspicious until you realize the king of the Italian Empire is actually the old king of the French Empire, which instantly begin to retake a bunch of these lands that he calls old native territory, which is kind of not wrong, but also not really right, as most countries begin to side on the side of the French Empire, which the French instantly begins to recoup their army, and they begin to move their troops through Africa, as they want to make a island hop through into Sicily, which is going to work out successfully, as they successfully manage to take over most of these lands, which the rest of the Italian colony immediately collapses. And this is when they'll begin to island hop between certain areas. They'll island hop from the Spanish islands from over here into the Sardinian island, and we'll see them even island hop into the Corsican islands, as they will fully take over both islands. And this is when the Italians begin to see, as they've taken over all of Sicily now, and the Italians will immediately begin to move all their troops back, as they realize what's going on, and the French are actually all these distractions were actually distractions, as they've mostly pushed back the French off of their border, which now look like this, and yeah, they completely pushed back the French, and this is when they begin to push into the Italian territories, running through with their guns, most likely, their muskets, and they will completely begin to roll through the Italian mountains or through the Swiss mountains, as they are sending most of their troops that have lived along the Alp mountains, and they will be sending the other half of their troops through the Italian front, which will actually grow their army. They will make the adhesive amount of expensive jump through this area, which is completely successful as they begin to roll through. And this is when they will be stopped at the capital of Italia, as they will completely push back at this point. And this is when the French will continue to roll through, even having access through the red Liechtenstein country. And yeah, the Italians should not have gotten themselves into this war, as they've completely begun to lose it, as they are now basically completely surrounded on all sides. Sadly for the Greeks, they are immediately forced out of this war, as they don't want to be caught into this thing, as they would be massively there would be massive repercussions to the Greeks. But this is when we'll see the final capitulation of the Orange team. And this is, and we can go ahead and re-highlight all the Italian islands. And yeah, peace treaty time. Alright, I just came back with the peace treaty, and this is what I decided to come up with. Ignore these lines down here. So we're going to start off with the red team, as they will actually be getting a little bit of land. They'll be getting that much. And the entire northern half of Italy will be brought over to the French, and so will their islands all the way down over here. Luckily, the French were kind enough to leave them one colony. Yeah, only one, as the rest of their colonies will go over to the French. Oh yeah, for the Green Indian team, they were actually given some land. I had forgotten to redraw a little bit of these. So yeah, they will be getting that much land. And Italy has completely lost their colony, as a little bit of land was also given over to Prussia. Now, Prussia is beginning to see why the people are liking this country. They're extremely overgiving to many other countries, but not so overgiving where it would harm their country. So they'll give away that much territory from the original Italian colony, which half of it is desert. So I don't know how much useful it is, but land is land. So this is when we'll begin to see the Italians join an alliance they were never going to join originally, but now are. They are going to be joining the Octagon Alliance, which actually shocks many countries around Europe, which will instantly begin to cause much panic, and this is when we will see the activation of the Tri-Star Alliance again, and we will see more countries appear into it. And we'll even see the Lime team join it. For this, I'm just going to move it over here to remind myself that this is Indian colonies over here. So yeah, so now we will see even more countries join this alliance, and it'll even force this Bangladesh country right here to join, as the other three countries surrounding are pressuring it. And the entire Square Alliance is really happy right now. That's it. Also, these two, they were never supposed to. They were only just pressured to join this 6-point star alliance. That's the only reason why they had joined. Which this green African country is going to choose a side, and it's going to be the Tri-Star Alliance, as they are more powerful than the square one, as it includes France, Iberia, Prussia. That's all you need to know. But as soon as you take a look over here, this is when you would see the Thai country, which would instantly screw over this Octagon alliance. So yeah. Also, speaking of the Thai country, this is when we'll see them make even more land grabs, and we'll see the Vietnamese make their final land grabs into Oceania as they can't take much more land down here, which the rest of this area is going to instantly go to the Vietnam the no, the Thai to the Thai people, and it's going to look like so. They're going to take over this much, and that even includes a little bit more exploration the um into the Australian continent, which will begin to look like so as um, the exploration continues to get buffed more and more, and even at some point, Tasmania gets discovered. Yeah, Tasmania. Out of every single thing you thought, Tasmania. You thought it was gonna be New Zealand. No, I'm gonna take New Zealand out. Antarctica gets seen more on maps than New Zealand. Sorry. We will see the Thai people, the Thai country begin to take even more land, as their aim to stop the French from taking any more land all the way over here that belongs over to these people that were over here first, which no one really deserves it then, but that's just my opinion. We will see the Thai take up over a bunch of land, which the rest of these areas will go over to the French, and they will even have a little bit of an enclave or exclave over there, which the country in real life would be a instant powerhouse. That's not even including their that they're allies with the French. So we're gonna see the Bangladesh country leave the alliance, and the green this green Indian country also leave this alliance. Very quickly, as I realized that even the Prussians and the French could easily take out the Greeks and the Crimeans and the Italians, which they're also going to be having new alliance members. Yeah, at this point, I would just surrender, because y'all don't need no alliance members after, especially after the French joined. But okay, we will see this Bulgarian, no, this Croatian country join. We will see this Hungarian country right here join, and sadly, the Welsh. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But for real though, we will see sadly, we will see the Southern Chinese nation down here join, which the Koreans are not gonna lie, they also went ahead and joined. If you gotta be this messed up to get the North Chinese and the Koreans on your side, yeah, that's messed up, bro. That's messed up. But we will continue to see these alliances grow bigger and bigger until at one point, pop. But this is we will see the French grow their empire again for the almost the final time of today. We will see their empire grow almost for the last time, and this is what their empire begins to look like. If only they invaded Prussia, they would begin to make all their colonies into one giant one, which would be overpowered. But they can't invade into this one, as this one just broke away, and they're on the same alliance, so I wouldn't recommend. But we will see this country, the green African country, explore and take a bunch of land over here. And we will see the Prussians take all the way down right there, which will lead to one, two, three, four, five, and six outsider powers taking control of Africa. The French, the Iberians, the Italians, the Greeks, the Prussians, and the Indians. All right, that's gonna be all for today. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and bye.